It's time for bookkeeping, beer, and BS. So Sean's saying he's got coverage through Molina Healthcare Marketplace. Is that a local one or is that like a national one? Or how does that one work?
Molina participates in multiple markets, but yeah, Central Florida and Florida is going to have Molina, Oscar, Molina. There's a few of them that are going to be like that, but that's one of the big names in the area.
Okay, and are those like state by state or region by region types of programs?
Yes, yeah, but Molina and Ambetter and things like that, they're going to participate in other markets. So no, it's not just always local, but what Sean will experience if he goes to Georgia and works up there because he's going to do some landscaping work up in Georgia, but gets hurt during whatever he's doing up there, he's out of network. So he's got to either patch himself up. He does have emergency coverage outside of his home network. You can jump into an emergency room. Everybody's got that ability. Jump in there, they'll get you patched up. But your most cost-effective version of this is going to get back to Florida, get back in your network to get any rehabilitation, anything long-term needs to be fixed, ongoing care.
Does this is like a weird question, but if you're overseas, then what happens? Are they like, oh, sorry, looks like go find that Mexican joint and we'll figure it out?
Funny you said that. That's today's conversation. She's in Europe traveling with her family for 6 months. And we were talking about health insurance. And I'm contracted through a company in Indianapolis that does international or outside of the U.S. type of policies like expat or any kind of short-term type of stuff you can buy and turn on and off. But in her case, I had to defer to say I'm not quite sure because you can, if you're traveling, I would think that if you're traveling, I could be wrong here, but if you're traveling on a vacation to Europe, you get hurt in Europe, you shouldn't get denied. You need to get back to the States, obviously, but you shouldn't be. Well, in her case, she said she found it to be more affordable to use local guys and pay cash for things. She says, I can easily get a lot of things done for $5-10 here in country because the insurance, it's just so expensive in our country. That's why we have insurance, because nobody can afford it out on their own. Yeah. But in other countries, it's a lot cheaper just to pay cash and negotiate it. So.
Yeah, there was a time in my previous life when I was working in the corporate world and I was going over to China for a 2-week trip. And right before I was about to leave, I picked up poison ivy. And I was like, and if I get poison ivy, it wins. It wins 99% of the time. And it was just a little bit, but I was like, oh, fuck. If that like starts taking over my body, like it'll get in my bloodstream and just start going. And I was like, that would be the worst to be like on international flights for 14 hours, 16-hour flights and just being just an itchy freaking time bomb of rage. I shouldn't say anything about it. I snagged some prednisone before I went over there and got my drugs so that I could fight the scratch. But man, that like had me scared shitless. Like, man, if I get over to China and this thing like blows up on me, what do I do? I'd be toast.
That's a pretty good question. I don't have all that answer on that one, but I know that you can buy your company. Let's say a company would buy, because I traveled to Mexico several times with a former life too. I would go there every other week, and they would buy a policy for me because I traveled internationally, so I can step into one of those. But your insurance typically won't be covered. You're out of network for sure.
Yeah, you're way out of network, especially in China.